Well, hey, how in the world are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Just came back from New York, and that was a whirlwind. And then we're headed back to California tomorrow.
Right before
If I don't get to go to New York to meet Paul McCartney. Hoping I'd like to do that.
That trip I'd make. I know he's coming to Dallas in a couple of weeks, or in August, and we are going to that show.
What day in August, do you know?
I believe it's August the 20th.
August the 20th in Dallas?
Yep.
Well, if I don't go to New York, maybe I'll come to that one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to plan to go to. But yeah, it's sometime in August there in Dallas at that new place.
Well, we got to see that.
Yeah.
My daughter Layla just loves him, and that's what she wanted for her birthday. She wanted to meet Paul McCartney. So I said, well, I'll try to work on that if I can. I don't know if he even knows country music.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's heard of you. Matter of fact, I know he knows country music. I'll tell you a story real quick. You know, they said that whenever Paul McCartney and the Beatles, their first trip to America, their first order of business when they landed was to go to a record shop, and they bought Buck Owens records.
Is that right?
That is the God's truth. I know it for a fact.
Wow, that's great because I've got Buck Owens' song out as a single, "Love's Gonna Live Here."
Yeah,
on the new album.
Whenever I ran into you in Nashville back during the CMA Fest, you were telling me about this, and I said, "Tell me about your new album." You said, "Well, it's new, but it's kind of old, and it's called My Turn," and that's exactly what it is. So tell us about that.
Well, it's of course Time Life asked me to do it, and I did it with Pete Anderson, who did all the White's records, and Pete actually's playing guitar on it too. And we got together and we talked about what songs we want to do for this. And it was totally our choice. I mean, Time Life didn't even they didn't make any demands or anything. We just and they've been so great to work with. I just can't believe it. But Pete came over to the house in Malibu, and he had a list of about 20 songs, and I had about 20, and we kind of just culled them down. And they were either songs that I have sung when I was a kid coming up, and songs my dad introduced me to at about 7 or 8 years old, or they were some of the songs that I grew up listening to, one or the other.
Hey, you know what? That brings up an interesting question. I've been curious about this. Now, there was, probably at least a good 10, 15-year span where you had people throwing songs at you right and left. I am curious if there ever was a song that was pitched to you that you said, nah, I don't think that's for me, and it went on to be big for somebody else.
Oh, actually a couple times, unfortunately. I've actually had it both ways. There's a couple times when I've recorded songs or I've turned down songs that I didn't think were for me. I mean, but I knew they were great songs. Now, one perfect example is Blue. Bill Mack wrote the song.
Oh,
Blue,
yeah, our good friend Bill Mack. My dad and him worked together at WBAP for 20 years.
Well, there you go. He's one of my best friends.
Oh, yeah.
He has been since I was 13. And he, of course, he wrote that song for Patsy, but I had dibs on that song for the very first time. I mean, I was the first artist, and he wanted me to sing it, and I just didn't think I could hook it. And I was right. I think that it went to the right person. Leanne did a great job on it. Now, there's a couple times I did. Paul Davis was one of my dear friends.
Oh, yeah.
And lost him last year, and I was just devastated about that because he is the most laid-back person in the world. You'd never think he would ever have a heart attack. I mean, just so laid back and wonderful and dear friend, and wrote some great songs for me. But when I first met him down on Music Row one night, when we was all hanging out down there, and he handed me a tape of songs. It was a cassette tape, and he said, "Give these a listen, see what you think." He's from Mississippi, Mississippi boy, and I think I recorded every one of them. One Love at a Time, Just Another Love, Love Me Like You Used to. There was another one on there called Goodbye Baby, which I did record later. It wasn't a single. And then there was a song called Bop, which I said, no, I don't think that one. I don't think I could hook that. I just wasn't attracted to it. And of course, it came out and it was
It was a huge record for Dan Seals.
Yes. And there was another time that a writer gave me, actually, it's funny you mentioned Dan Seals because there was a writer that gave me a couple songs that he'd written. One was called I'm Not Talking About Moving In.
Oh, yeah, I'd really love to see you tonight.
I don't want to change your life, yeah. So I cut the other one and didn't cut that one, and it went on to be a great song. Hey, another hit for Dan Seal, so there you go.